It's Friday. It's Friday night Pint Live. I'm here with the originals. Ryan Archer on my left. No, it's my right then.
On your right.
And Scotty Collier on my left. My name's Nick Hawkins. This is Friday Night Pint Live. Welcome along to another Friday Night Pint Live. We've got, it's just mainly transfers really, and we're going to talk a bit about the Club World Cup. But boys, are you enjoying this weather?
Yes, because it's nice to have hot weather in this country. You know, we complain about the rain and the cold, so it's good to have a bit of sunshine. But boy, do I hate working in it, mate, I tell you.
Mate, I work outside. Look, you can see my tan. So, yeah, I am absolutely sweltering outside. Right, you enjoying the weather? Getting a bit of sunshine in?
To be honest, mate, I ain't really seen much of it because I'm in an air-conditioned office all day. So by the time I leave, it's like the sun's gone in. But I'll be enjoying it over the weekend. I've got... I'm going to be out in the garden tomorrow because I need to cut this fucking grass that I've been avoiding for ages. And then I'm going to sit out for a couple of hours, and then I'm out tomorrow night at a party, and then a barbecue on Sunday. So I'm sure I'll be looking brown on Monday, trying to get some of this Mexican tan back that I've seemed to be losing.
I think me and you have got exactly the same fucking plans because I'm doing exactly the same thing. I don't think I'm at a party, but I'm going out there trying to cut the grass. Then on the Sunday, I've got a barbecue with my mum. I've got to send the well wishes. My mum started a chemo this week, and she was a bit under the weather, but we've been taking her. But mum, we're all thinking about you. Get well soon. Mm-hmm. You're going to get through it. Boys, fucking about. Let's get to the fucking main story. Get your comments in the comment section down below. Apparently, right, and this is spread today. Sullivan is actively looking to sell Kudus. So he's been banding him around and taking him around like a car boot sale and basically asking anyone, are you interested in him? What do you think? Is it, I mean, first of all, is it true? And second of all, is it right that he should be doing that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Kudus has sort of made it clear, isn't he, that he wants to leave the football club. So if they're going to be touting him around, then they want to get as much money as possible for him, because if rumours are true and we have to reinvest this money back into the squad, whether it's 50% or 75% of the money, we have to get the best price for him. I mean, what's he going to generate? I can't see us getting 80 odd million that's being touted. I think we'll be lucky to get maybe 60. So if he don't want to be there, like any player that don't want to be at a football club, get rid of him, you know, and sell him for as much as you can.
Mate, I totally agree with you. I really think that they put the clauses in his contract, you know, allegedly the ones for, you know, the 80 million for a foreign club, 85 for Premier League, 120 for Saudi. And I think they fully expected a massive bidding war to go on. Yeah. And I think they come unstuck. You know,
that might still happen. You know, it's still early in the transfer window. It might still happen. You know, I can't see too many clubs going after him, but there will be someone out there willing to pay, because look, we can't deny on his day he is a good player. Mm-hmm. Last season he was poor, but so were a lot of other players.
Majority of the squad
let us down last season. So we know that put him in a better team with better players, he's going to perform and he's going to be worth the 85 million they reckon he's worth. But at the moment at West Ham, especially under last season's performance, he weren't worth nowhere near that.
Well, I was looking at his, and I was talking to a friend of mine who's a massive West Ham fan, Shane, today, and we were talking about Kudus, and I honestly said, and I've said this over and over again. Sorry, let me just put this microphone towards me. I've said this over and over again. What is the point that you can have a player with all of the talent in the world, yeah? If he doesn't want to play for you and he's not putting in, he was telling me about the the way he's been, and I agree with this, the body language of him. You know, he's had a tough season. He scored on the last day, didn't really celebrate. He walked off. I know he's a little bit coy with celebrations, but he normally runs and looks for a little seat so he can sit down. He doesn't look happy at the football club. He looks like he wants out, right? Which is fair enough, right? But he was saying, like, he was so frustrated last season that you know, he's looking at Kudus and someone loses the ball and he wouldn't move. And when I look back at the season when he had a really good season, he was all over the pitch. He was tackling back and all. So, like, there's obviously an issue, like whether he thinks he's too good for us, whether he got, you know, frustrated with a lack of progress once Moyes left. You know, we know he had problems with a manager. He didn't have the best seasons, but he still got 5 goals, which was, you know, when you look at our top scorers, I still don't think, you know, there was many that had many more. It's a sound dodgy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was waiting till you finish, mate. You've got a bit of feedback coming through on yours.
All right, hold on. Let me try and I'll change this audio. 1 second.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, no, there's some feedback coming back through.
No, there's no sound. Now he's both scratching his head.
It's got to be his internet's playing up today. But no, he's mate, I'm along the lines with you. I tell you, if people don't want to be at the club no more, get rid of them.
Yeah, like the thing is, as we said, mate, Kudus is a top player on his day. We've seen that in his first season there, when the way him and Paquetá were linking up and bowing. Last season, he's one of these players that when it's going well, he loves his football. When it's going bad, he's not going to dig in his heels. He's not going to fight for the team. And you know, you can't have that. Unfortunately, it was a bad season last season. None of us wanted that, but it happens. But it's about rebuilding and going again next season. But as I said, if we have to sell to buy, I mean, Kudus is probably the only one who will bring in a big amount of money. And Paquetá, obviously, depending on his court case, you know, we might get a bit of money for him as well. So,
no, that's it. That's the thing, mate. Isn't it? I think that Sullivan's he's pushing this. We're skint. We've got to balance the books and all that malarkey, and putting all his eggs in one basket, thinking, you know, Kudus is going to be the one to bring in the big money. And I think
mate, I used to hear this balance the books thing when we tried to sell. We had to sell Andy Impey in '98.
You know, anyway. Honestly, it's just rinse and repeat. It's bloody ridiculous, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think that sound back the feedback might be coming from Ryan's microphone when I've had a look at it. So, right, if you can tilt that microphone slightly a different direction, maybe it's pointing at the speaker.
The what?
The microphone. No?
I don't know. What do you want me to do? Scott, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, it was only coming through when you were speaking, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's coming through when you're speaking on it. So it must be coming from Ryan's, because when he's speaking, it's not coming through. So he's picking up a sound from somewhere.
It's better now, though.
Yeah, I can't hear it now. But
yeah,
Ryan's right. Anyway, so he wasn't any good at the football club in terms of last season. So what is the point of having? You can have a geezer with all the talent in the world, but if he doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play for you. I'd rather have 11 people out there that want to play and have got no talent than a geezer with all the talent in the world that doesn't want to show it for you or doesn't want to work for you. So I think, listen, it's a bit frightening because you could read into like the fact that he's touting him about for so many reasons. Like, is he touting him about because we've got no money? Is he touting him about because he's heard something about Paquetá and they know he's not going to be a sellable asset now? So then looking at their biggest asset, there is a couple more that are, you know, that could go as well. We'll talk about Nate Aguirre in a minute. But, you know, in terms of like assets, he's our biggest asset. We're not getting rid of Bowen. You know, there was talks about Bowen. But if we don't get a suitor, I think it's a bit risky to be bounding him around because, for one, you know, at first I didn't want him to go anywhere in the Premier League, but I think he's such. We're in such a position where he needs to leave the football club. I wouldn't really care about that as long as we got decent money for him. I think the best place we're going to get money is Chelsea. But when you're starting to offer players like that, it makes you look desperate, which then thinks, oh, right, they want to get rid of him. You know, all the leaks in the football club and all that. It makes us look like we haven't got any money, and you start to think to yourself like, that they desperate. There's reports that we might let him go for like 40 million, which is like mental. You know what I mean? There's, you know, it's. I don't know. You know, there's different ways you can look at it. There's different ways to, you know, it's the reason why they're touting him about is the reason I'm worried. Is like do we desperately need to sell him, which puts us in a bad position? When you're touting him about, is it because there is no suitors, no one's come forward, but basically because he performed so poorly last season, people worried about his caliber? Maybe he just had a purple patch when he came in, or is there news on what might happen to Paquetá? He's not going to be a sellable asset, so we need to start to fucking making sure we've got this one. I don't know what the answer is, but it is worrying that he's starting to tell him. But on the other hand, and positive side, he might just think, "Fuck him, I've had enough of him." Do you know what I mean? Like, and I want rid of him. So let him go to anyone, and let's start bidding more ourselves.
Yeah, I think as in true Sullivan style, I think he's shown his hand too early. He just reeks of desperation that he don't want to fork out of his own pocket in the transfer market. And this is the big problem that we've got. Like I said, players know you're short of cash. If you're sitting there touting that you're short of cash, and people are going to go, well, if we hold out and hold out and hold out, if they're desperate for the money, get, say, 2 or 3 weeks away from the start of the season, you come in with a £50 million bid, Sullivan's going to bite his hand off because he needs to reinvest the money in the squad. So, again, it's just bad business by Sullivan by sitting there touting about we ain't got no money. It's just rinse and repeat season after season. Like Ryan said, way back when, you're still hearing this balancing of the books malarkey. We must be the only club that has to worry about balancing the books.
Mm. Yeah.
We're a depleted aging squad, and every player barring Bowen's up for sale. Work that one out.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. Listen, there might be different reasons to it. It is worrying. I don't know whether we have done this before in the past, where he started to turn around and say, "Look, we haven't got any money," but then all of a sudden we turn up with money. I still can't work out how, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, how you can bid £65 million for a striker in January and then get to August and you haven't got a penny.
Well, I don't buy all this that we haven't got any money. We have got money. It's probably not as much as what people expect, but we've got money. We have to have money, So they just want to obviously sell players to bring, they want to bring in as much money as they can from our assets. I mean, Bowen, touch wood, he's not going anywhere. But I said this the other night: if someone comes in with £100 million bid for him, he's gone. Sullivan ain't going to turn that down. No. And I feel a bit sorry for Bowen, because when he signed up for this 7-year deal, I don't think he expected it to go like this. And now he's tied down to the football club. I mean, look, contracts don't really mean nothing these days. People sign contracts and then 6 months later they're on the move. So it's I think there is money there. I definitely think we've got money. So it's just about, look, Potter's obviously, he's got a big job on his hands in this transfer window, and he's got to get the players he wants. We're at the moment, we're a hard place. It's hard for us to attract decent players, especially when players are looking in the club thinking, "Hang on a minute, you're selling your best players. Why do I want to come there?" So it's going to be a long summer. It's going to be a stressful summer. But I just hope when we line up against Sunderland on that opening day, we've got some fucking decent players in that team. Because if not, it's going to be a long season again. And
I know we done a live stream about the fixtures, and the fixtures, when you look at the fixtures, and we'll talk about this a little bit later in depth, but they're not easy. It's starting off at a newly promoted team is never easy, especially if you've got an aging squad, because they're going to be full of beans. You know what I mean? How you feel? We went to Forest a couple of years ago. You came with me, right? Didn't you? When we went Forest?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Forest. It's fucking loud. It's the fans are up for it. The players are up for it. Listen, I don't think we should have lost that game. I thought it was very unlucky. But it's tough to go to a newly promoted team and win on the first day of the season.
Forest spent a lot of money that summer and brought in a lot of players. So that Sunderland, I don't think are going to do that. So look, I know the fixture list. It don't matter what way you look at it. Everyone says, "Oh, it's difficult." You've got to play everyone twice. You've got to play everyone twice. Let's be honest. Sunderland away or Liverpool away, what one would you rather have? Thinking you're going to get more chance of getting points. So, I mean, we've got 2 London derbies back to back. We play Palace and Tottenham as well. We've got Chelsea in there. So 3 London derbies in the first 6 games. It's going to be difficult, but you've got to play these teams. And we've got to get off to a good start.
I think that's
that's what I'm
the key thing.
saying. Like, you need to get your transfer business done early. You want these players in early because it is a tough start. And if you get to, there's some people. Look, I think it's not all doom and gloom. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, football's played on a pitch, not on paper. So you can look at it on paper all you like and go, "Oh, well, we're not going to win this game." It's not played like that. We all know results go anyway, and you can pull up a run of form. But when you think about getting in players and the shape we was in last year. I think we need to get at least 3 in before we play that first game, because if you start losing games at the beginning and you're not getting your business done, the momentum picks up. It's tough, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're 6, 7, 8 games in, and then you're in a fucking relegation battle, which is, if you haven't won a game, it's fucking tough, like, at the start. But listen, I was accused of being a bit all doom and gloom, and listen, it's the club is not positive at the minute. Like, no matter what way you look at it. The club is not positive at the minute. There's nothing positive coming out of the club. Everything that comes out of the club now is all doom and gloom. No money and all that. We're poor last year. We've got to sell players and all that. It doesn't look good for a fan base, especially when you're trying to sell fucking season tickets. It's all seemed to come out after we'd fucking sold them all. So yeah, it doesn't look good at the minute. It's all doom and gloom. But obviously, as I said, football's played on grass, not on paper. So you have to take it, step by step and see what's coming.
The thing is, as well, is that, like, the sad thing is that Sunderland fans will be looking at playing us on that opening day of the season, and they'll be buzzing for it because they've seen
rubbing their hands together,
struggling, and that's the situation we're in now. So what we got to do is go there, silence their fans, and get the points.
But that's the thing. It can go the other way, though, can't it? They get so much pent up on this opening day, first game back in the Premier League, that type of thing, that the occasion gets to the players.
We'll be live on telly. We'll be live on Sky or BT, whatever one decides to TNT, wherever it's called now. We'll be live because they want to see the upset. It's Sunderland's big game back. They've been out of the Premier League for 9 years now. So it's all. But Sunderland, obviously they just got rid of Bellingham. Who was probably their best player.
Yep.
So they'll bring in a few, like, probably Championship players, maybe a few transfers from Premier League clubs. But I'm more worried about what team we're going to field, and if we go to that starting day and we've got a similar team to what we had last season, then as I said, it's going to be a very, very long season.
The thing is, when Nick, do you want to do the comments? We'll talk about the fixtures after, or
I'll do the comments now. There's quite a few comments coming in, actually. So let's go back all the way. Oh, sorry, I'll click that one right. So J Bogue says, right, I'm reading. We've been looking at a striker from League One, so his price of 30 million. We'll talk about that in a second. Matt Rainey says, and this is a good point, and I wanted to bring this up. If we sell Kudus to Spurs, that scum from the owners, I would never help a main rival of ours. The other one to be in touted is Chelsea. Would you sell him to either of them?
Well, the thing is, you can't really say that, because how many players have we sold to Tottenham and Chelsea down the years? We sold our probably best player that we've had for many years to Arsenal. So it don't matter where he goes. If he wants to go leave the football club, then if we're going to deal with Chelsea and Tottenham, we get the most money we can out of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you, mate. It goes back to that. If the player does want to be at the club, then you've got to offload him because he'll be more toxic still at the club.
If he wants to go and play for Tottenham after playing for West Ham, that says more about the player than the football club. Sell him to him, but as long as you get the money that you want, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Although it would hurt me.
Yeah, of course it would.
To see him come back in a Spurs shirt, it'll be fucking toxic.
It wouldn't hurt me. It wouldn't hurt me at all. I'd be waiting for one of our players to put him up in the air.
That's the thing. It's just disappointing when you know the fan rivalry between the two clubs that you go and do that. But look, players have done it before, and it's just one of them things. It's just part and parcel. If they're willing to pay the money and the player wants to go, it's the best for all parties, isn't it? That's how you got to look at it. Let's be honest. As much as the dislike for that club, they've got Champions League football.
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't. We've got no European football. We can't keep these type of players. So, and we're desperate to sell, apparently. So if he goes there, he goes there. It's by the by. It's just one of them things. You hate the fact that he's going to that club. I hate the fact that Declan Rice went to Arsenal, but you just have to put up with it. You know, they paid the money for him. They were the only ones willing to do it. So, you know, players have got to move on.
That's right. No, I'll put you right there. Matt Powell, who else is worried we could get relegated next season with lack of sales? I think that it's, as I said before, Matt, the transfer window is early. You know, people think that a transfer window is like the fucking Black Friday sale at Asda's or whatever it was. They think as soon as the doors open, people are fucking shooting to the. It's not like that. The contracts are finished. They get to a point where the contract.
He's definitely changed his tune, isn't he? Because if we go back to how many seasons we've had, in the first season, he's fucking saying there, saying we've signed no one. It's been open for 45 minutes and we ain't got no one.
Mate, I tell you, it frustrates the life out of me because I want it to be like a Black Friday sale. But over doing this for 10, however many years we've been doing it now, you start to realise it's not like that. The transfer window open. Sorry, say that again, mate.
Did you see that idea someone had? I just thought of it, where they said that wouldn't it be good if you had no leaks, nothing, and then the day before the new season starts, everyone just unveiled their new signings? Imagine how good that would be.
That would be one of the best things ever.
Yeah,
it would be. You know, like
not the day before, but like a week before or something.
Yeah, like summer, nobody knows. Everything's done in the dark. And then, like, nobody knows who's ever buying. But obviously, the benefit from the football club would be bad because they wouldn't know who's for fucking sale and who's available. Other ones. But if everyone didn't know the business that people were doing, they got the players, they signed the contracts. It was like, mind you, I'm going to talk about Americanizing, but it was like, you know, like the fucking, what do they call it, right? The WWE draft where you used to get the fucking thing come up, who's on Raw, who's on SmackDown, who's on all of that sort of thing. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that'd be one of the best things.
It put a lot of ITKs out of work, but yeah, it'd stop all this people stressing. Everyone just have to wait. No one knows what. Now and us, we'd fucking I have no one. We'd have one player.
Yeah,
we'd
that's the thing.
Imagine Sukal, Fabianski, and Creswell.
But it'll be yeah. But imagine if it'd be something like you're waiting for Christmas Day, and then all you get on Christmas Day is a bag of flour. Mate, I think that's
what Sullivan had cardboard cutouts of all the players that he tried to sign, but we didn't get. You know, there'd be all these like 52 players that we tried, you know, and then this is what we got.
If you put Sullivan in the middle and you put all the players that they've been rumoured to have around him, and then all of a sudden they pop up from behind their cardboard cutout, so they smash through the cardboard cutout. They're like, "Yeah, we got him." That would be brilliant. That'd be so entertaining. Well, that's a good idea.
That weren't me that made it up. I read it a few weeks ago and it just popped into my head because I thought, well, I think I actually took a screenshot of it to save it to mention it on the show. But yeah, no, I thought that would be absolutely just Sky Sports News all day, each team unveiling their new players.
Yeah,
we'll be right at the end. W.
I like that idea. So Rob says Kudus wants out. Big shame, but fair enough. But where should he? But he should only be sold for a good price, especially if the Dwarfs' comments about FFP are true. We will need that cash to strengthen. Yeah. I've got no issue with him touting him around for sale and making people know he's available for sale, but you've got to put a price on it. You can't then, because I was talking about this today with the Pint situation. Yeah, with Pint, if we'd have gone into January with Pint, right, and January and Pint hadn't said fuck all, so he never turned around and said I'm not playing for the club again, blah blah blah. We could have got £100 million for him.
Yeah,
but I believe like someone would have paid £100 million for him. A Barcelona, Real Madrid, whatever, right? So if all that situation that we could have got £100 million from him, as soon as he turned around and went, I'm not playing with this club anymore, and they sent him off to the reserves, we went into a meeting with the club at the time, and I'm like, where's he going? And they're like, we don't know where he's going, but we're not going to sell him for less than £50 million, right? We got right to the last, and Marseille come in, they went, we'll give you 25 million, and we said, no. Got to the last day of the transfer window, and they're like, fucking no one else has come, like, because they know that he don't want to go anywhere else. Yeah, he's restricted to one club, And that's what they're going to give him. Or you're going to have an asset, a big asset sitting in the fucking reserves.
Yeah.
And they're like, 25 million. And they're like, yeah, it was like the last knockings at a boot sale. Do you know what I mean? Like when you've offered 50p for saying. But
that's what worries about Kudus. Similar situation. You know, if player wants out, club want to sell, wait till the last minute. You know,
get our business done first.
Yeah.
But then if we have to sell to buy, we have to get it done early. I'd rather get it done tomorrow. So then we know what money we've got.
If that is true, then, well, we have to sell to buy, and someone coming with £50 million now, and we was going 75 million is his release clause. Would you just take the 50 mil?
It depends what clubs are coming in, because there could always be money plus player for Kudus. So there might be someone on offer, like Chelsea might have someone that they want to offload, and we could do some sort of deal because, I mean,
I see yesterday, I see today actually, that Madueke's being touted about for sale. If they come in, because I know we wanted the goalkeeper, didn't we, Sanchez?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Madueke, if they turn around and went, I'll offer you the goalkeeper and Madueke for Kudus, I think I'll take it.
I'd probably chuck a bit of money on top of that as well.
Yeah, but it won't be much on top of
that. No, if you said them two players plus, I don't know, 20 million or something, then
I think I would take. I think Madueke is a good little player. He's an England international. He's young. He's going to be one of them ones that's still got to impress. I think the thing is where Madueke's just got into the England squad, he's going to want to stay in the England squad. You know what I mean? So he's going to want to be impressing. Kudus ain't got to work for his Ghana place. He's going to play the Ghana no matter. He could be there for the fucking dog and duck down the road, and he'd still be playing the Ghana. Kudus is, he's a good player. He's got nothing to prove. I think I would, even if they didn't offer money, I think fixing two positions that you want to fix, like Potter, I think I'd probably take it, because I think you're just going to get more productivity out of Madueke than him.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. The thing is, with players like that, they're going to be hungry. They're going to want to play. This is what we need. We need players who are hungry to play, hungry to impress. And like you said, players getting into the England squad, wanting to stay about in the England squad, especially with the competition in certain positions within the England team, they're going to want to play football. And if it's not guaranteed he's going to be playing at Chelsea, then he may see that move as a decent move for him. But he's the other problem with some of the youngsters, mate. The jury's out on whether they're up to the standard for a full season. That's the problem.
There we go. Matt Rainey says, question, did you boys renew your season tickets?
Yep.
Yeah, me and Scotty did, but Ryan, you didn't have one, did you, Ryan, last season?
No, I didn't renew last season.
No, he didn't. He stuck them off a year ago. And I know Lawless didn't renew his.
Yeah.
So, he'd had enough as well.
Just me and you, glutton for punishment, mate.
Yeah, just me and you.
I will be going to more games next season.
Listen, just because they didn't get season tickets, don't mean they won't be getting games. They'll all be getting games. Lawless be getting games. Ryan be getting games.
I prefer watching it down the pub. get a good view. Ain't got a queue for a beer. Nice table.
Yeah. Dad's Our Job podcast. I think Dad's Our Job podcast is trying to be a little bit positive, because I've seen a few of these things and he's a little bit critical of what we're saying. But, that's your opinion. Just get your opinions in. We read them out no matter what they are. If Kutinski pays the full £41 million, his stake increased by 8%, and Sullivan a goal, and Smith share decrease, meaning Daniel Kutinski is a majority shareholder. It's going to be very, very difficult to get them shares off them 8%. You might only be 8%, but getting them off of them is going to be.
Is that not the debt though?
I think that Sullivan would sell his shares in the club within the next 2 years. That's my
opinion. I did say that. He's getting old, the geezer. If he ain't, and I mean this with regret, and I don't wish death upon no one, you know what I mean? I know we've had our issues, but he's getting close, mate. I think he's not in a good shape at the minute, and fucking God forbid he does, but
it don't look bad going around on a fucking yacht in the middle of the fucking ocean, fucking smiling with champagne.
With a fucking big pair of tits in his face, lovely. But he's not getting any younger, that's for sure. Evening all. No one said evening all. Mr. Wixie 4.
I don't
know where I got that from.
Last week, where you said the other week, where you went, let's go.
Oh yeah, let's go. Saying he's for sale has dropped his sale price, I think that is. Sullivan, is football, if football isn't the business for you, get out and sell to someone who will spend. Fair enough. That's fair play. Oh shit, sorry, 1 second.
Dad's had your podcast again. In my opinion, I think we need to keep everyone on no one. What? We can dip into a free transfer market and get the players we need for squad depth. Tyreek Mitchell, KWP, and Brownhill will improve us. Sullivan, is that you? Have you taken over the Dad's Out podcast fucking account? Mate, listen, if that's your opinion, that's your... I don't agree. I can't agree with that. But if that's your opinion, mate, you're well entitled to it. So, yeah, it's good to hear different opinions all the time. Rob says, cause the dwarf lies. If he doesn't want to invest in a team, he should sell up. Matt Powell says, Sullivan, rather than keep the money and spend on his fiance, I think she'd fucking take the Kudus money straight away.
Chelsea are losing 3-1 to Flamingos.
Flamingos. Do you know what?
Flamingos.
I watched last couple of years ago. I went to Orlando Magic basketball game, and they played the Flamingo basketball team. Don't know why that's relevant, but I'm just saying. Like, I've seen go in the flesh. Dad's Our Job podcast. We only need to sell Kudus to bring in new players. We know what Kudus can achieve. Potter needs to get the best out of him. I think that says if he can't, buy. I think that's a fair comment as well. I think that's Daz, we all got money. All right, David doesn't want to spend it. Wine.
I said we've got money.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He said we've got money, all right. Just David doesn't want to spend it. Right, I think he's agreeing with you. Moral Folks says we can spend Sullivan, and the board don't want to put money into the club. That's our podcast again. There was a summer that Spurs bought no one, and they had Pochettino as coach, and they got to a Champions League final. Can be done. I think it'd be tough to get a Champions League final. We're not in the Champions League for a start. And they did have Harry Kane.
Then, to be fair, they're getting there. They had Kane and Son and some. But
to be fair to them, Harry Kane didn't used to turn up in finals or big games. So,
well, he did.
I don't even think he was part of the semis, was he?
No, Lucas Moura scored a hat-trick in the semis. He dropped in for the final for a half-fit Harry Kane.
Yeah, and that was because that was the video, wasn't it? Come on, let's go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, best thing Pochettino ever done.
Fucking Mr. Bean come in then. Come on, let's go.
Funny enough, right? You say that, right? I don't know whether I told you the other day. There was a woman crossing the road the other day. It looked like, I swear on my life, yeah, it looked like Mr. Bean's face on the woman's body. You know, like, mate, I was do you know what it looked like one of them face swap things in real life. I swear
I can't really say too much, but we've got a driver in work, and he had an incident during the week, so he had to do like a course. And he looks like he's a spitting image of Mr. Bean. But today he come in and he had a suit on with a tie with an Irish jacket over it, and he just looked like Mr. Bean. And I was sitting there, and he was sitting opposite me because I'm next to where the training computers are and that. And fucking hell, I was trying so hard not to laugh. If he'd have got a picture of Winston's mother out, I would have started crying.
I was give everyone your impression because it's fucking cracking.
Scott, Nick, just quickly, Scott, I need you to come to my work to stay next to him because it looked like I'm watching Bean the movie. Oh, Janosch.
Go on, crack us the impression out quickly.
Huh?
The impression, the Mr. Bean impression.
Oh, fuck, I ain't doing that.
Oh, he'll do it one day. It's too much pressure. We've put too much pressure on it. We're right.
I'm hot. I can't perform under the heat.
I can't breathe. All right. And he whips out a guitar.
Yeah, I'm going in.
What was that thing in Anchorman when he's got the flute? He goes like that. No, I can't. He's whipping out his flute and putting it all together.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. If the midfield isn't addressed again, you can forget about it. I think that's a fair comment as well. That's
the main area that we have to concentrate on in the summer.
I think that there's parts of the team that if that midfield operated properly would operate better. Does that make sense? Like, I think the attack would work a lot better if you had a mobile midfield. But there we go. Sunderland away is the worst possible opening fixture, in my opinion. They get a full house of 45k. Tough fixture. They're going to definitely have a full house.
It's
mate,
not easy because we could have got City away, we could have got Liverpool away, we could have got Tottenham away. It's not the worst fixture to open with. It's a tough fixture, but it's not the worst.
No, it's not the worst. It is going to be tough. But to be fair, in terms of like, as I said, this played on grass, not paper. But in terms of on paper, you probably think that was one of the easiest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy. But I'm just saying, like in terms of who you want, a newly promoted team would be the one you want. Football is played on a chessboard nowadays, said Mike Basham. Might be the one time the local fans get. Oh shit! I couldn't forget to click them. Kieran Holton says, might be the one time local fans get behind me in the pubs up here. I live in Newcastle. That's our podcast. We've lost Cresswell, Fabianski, Soufal, Zuma, and Ings in the summer. And it's apparently the end of the world. It is if you don't replace them, mate. You know, like there's a few of them. Fabianski and Soufal and Cresswell were playing quite regularly. Well, not regularly for Fabianski, but he had a few games at the end of the season. What sort of paper are we talking about? What is the GSM? I don't know what the fuck that must have made sense at the time.
Yeah, when you said football's not played on paper.
Oh, right. Okay. Stevie Bell, thank you very much. All the best to your mum, Nikki. Thank you so much, mate. I'll get back to the comments in a minute. There's 100 of them. I don't know whether you're reading them, Scott. And Ryan's put £2 in. I don't think that's you, Ryan, but anyone fancy curry?
That is me.
Anyone fancy curry in the Morrison's car park? Do you know what? That sounds fucking delicious, to be quite honest. What Morrison's? Tell us what Morrison's, and we'll get to it. But yeah, I'll have one. Yeah,
I'm going to Morrison's in Corringham. That's around the corner from me. I'll end up going around there and having a fucking address in the car park.
Yeah. So there we go. Richard, just why is the club so rotten to the core, Nicky? I lost my spark to see how matches so boring. I think a lot of people have, mate. I was talking about this today. So there we go. Let us know your comments in the comment section down below if you're watching after this, but thank you so much for the comments. Let's move on a little bit. Let's go Club World Cup before we get into the two transfer stories. Has anyone been watching this Club World Cup?
No. Got no interest in the Club World Cup whatsoever.
There's been a fuck off, Lee. There's been a couple of I forgot I was going to fucking say that. There's been a couple of games that I've had on in the background while I've been doing stuff in the house, but I haven't really been watching it. I see a little bit of the game last night with Inter Miami, but yeah, I haven't watched the full game. I've watched bits and pieces of games. I think Chelsea was on the other night where I watched a bit of the first half, and there was hardly anyone in the crowd. And I thought Chelsea had a big following out in America. Mm-hmm. So I thought there would have been more of crowds there. But yeah, I don't know if obviously it's the first tournament, isn't it? So it's going to have its teething problems and that. And obviously it depends on the location. But is it going to work? I don't know. I mean, I feel sorry for these players. I know they get a lot of money and people say that, but they need their rest or they're just going to be worn out. 10 games into the season, some of these players are going to be fucked.
But yeah, I said this. I was talking about this today, right? So I said it's I think it's a bit of a joke, to be honest with you. I don't think the Club World Cup is a joke. I think the time of the year it's played, like having a tournament style. And I said, I don't see how these players can be motivated. You know, you see last night PSG got beat by Boujon or whatever the fuck they're called. And I was going, that's a big shock. And I was like, I don't think it is a big shock. PSG have just had probably the best night of their lives. Well, they have. They have had the best night of their lives. They've just won the Champions League for the first time. Yeah, these players are going to be in a higher. And what did they do? This was about 3 weeks ago. What dit they do? Straight back into training to play the Club World Cup. These players are going to be absolutely fucked. Not on top of that, they're over in America, and this is meant to be a bit of a warm up for the tournament that's coming up, the World Cup next year, right? So they're over in America. We've just looked at a game, Juventus. I'm not watching it and all that, but there has been so many fucking bad weather breaks and lightning storms and all that sort of thing, which you get in that part of the world, and I understand. Somebody corrects us if we're wrong, right? But Scott's just had a look before we come online, and he's told me that there was a game kicked off. Juventus game kicked off at 5 o'clock.
Benfica, Auckland City.
Sorry,
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock it was half time So there must have been something happen. They're having all of these. I think they've given a fucking cornflake prize winners the fucking chance to commentate, because some of the fucking commentators are atrocious, and the ones I've seen. Because some of them was trying to explain the goalkeeper, and he's trying to say, he's going, I forgot his name now, but he's in goal. And something like that. It was like, yeah, it's like,
is this tournament every year or is it every 4 years? Like a World Cup?
No, I
You
don't
can't
know.
do it you can't do it every year because it's every couple of years maybe, but you can't do it every year. It's fucking ridiculous.
I think it's every 4 years, because the last one, when was the last one? I looked at this the other day. Hang on, because obviously it's not. It's just a new format. It's the tournament that's been around.
The easiest way for this tournament to work would be to do it during the season and shut down as a winter break.
They did, didn't you? Remember that year Man United dropped out the FA Cup third round?
That was like 2000, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's what they did. It used to be in there, but this is obviously the reason they've held it now is because the World Cup's going to be out there. They want to test the facilities, test the stadium. And to me, you've had 2 games not postponed, but during the game they've had to stop for lightning storms. Surely you've got to be looking at the locations where you're having these games. The fact that America's got another World Cup, Mexico's got their 3rd World Cup since 1970, it's a fucking joke. Let's be honest. And don't
be slagging off Mexico, mate. Beautiful.
No, I ain't slagging off Mexico, but there's been 3 World Cups in Mexico since 1970. There's been 1 in England since 1960.
Yeah, but that's because whenever we have it, we win it. 100% record.
Yeah, but that's it. But it just shows the corruption and the joke. It is even if the rumours are true about the bidding for the TV rights, nobody was interested in taking up this competition. From what I've heard, ITV offered a bid of £0, and then all of a sudden DAZN come in and bid a massive, ridiculous amount of bid, and 2 weeks later Saudi Arabia get the next World Cup. So reading what you want in that. Do you know what I mean? It's just pathetic. It's a stupid tournament. No one's really interested, and like you said, it's just flogging the players. And this is the thing. You're going to get to the middle of next season. City players, Chelsea players, are going to be knackered.
Good, because we've got to play them fucking in the first game.
It's great for us, but it's messing up the league, isn't it?
Tro says few injuries to the best players will make them realise. I think that's meant to say. You start getting players that are on big money and all that, then clubs will start fucking pulling that out fucking quicker than the council estate geezer pulling out his bird. But yeah, it is. I think it's ridiculous. I honestly think it's fucking ridiculous because, as I said, how can these players be motivated? They've got to go on holiday. They've got to. They're fucking top class athletes that need rest. And, flying these. Listen, I know it comes with the territory. I know they earn a lot of money, but earn a lot of money or not, it does not. It does not make your body break down any fucking slower. If you're pelting it at 100% pace, at that sort of pace that they're doing it week after without a rest, at some point your body's going to give up.
The thing is as well, Nick, weren't Guardiola one of the managers that was complaining about the fixture pile-ups and because of the League Cup games and the FA Cup games?
Yeah.
And this is the thing. This is where money talks.
Guardiola's decision, Scott. That's the problem. It wouldn't be his decision.
No, it wouldn't be a decision. But at the end of the day, if you're sitting there saying, "Oh, we've got a fixture pile-up, we're playing too many games and all this type of thing," put the under-21s out there in the tournament.
Yeah.
So what harm is that going to do? A lot of the under-21s are out playing in the under-21. Is it European competition or the World Cup at the moment?
I'm going to tell you what.
Well, the only way to solve that then for these clubs then, if they agree to play in this tournament, and the next season they should be not allowed to play in the FA Cup and the League Cup.
But then you're taking one tournament as every few years to that's then discrediting our tournaments. Why should we say the FA Cup?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's their choice. Or the other way I said it is just have a break in December like we did for the World Cup, because I thought that worked perfect. Players get a rest. The players that go and play in this tournament, they obviously still play through it. But that's the only way I can see it doing it, because to carry it on in summer, it's not that. They're going to go like all through this summer, how long does this tournament last? Another couple of weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah. I think it runs a similar thingy to what a World Cup would.
Then they'll have a 2-week break. Then they're back at pre-season training. Then they're in for a full season in the Premier League. Then they're going to be going away with their countries next year for the World Cup. It's just constant. And at the end of the day, like, they're going to overwork these players and they're going to get injuries. Their players are going to pick up silly little injuries and be out for ages. So,
and that's the thing, mate. And this is it. And as I said, we'll get to January. There'll be that usual fixture pile up over Christmas with the Boxing Day games and then the New Year's games. Then the FA Cup start, and it will be people like Guardiola sitting there moaning about the fixture pile up, moaning about the amount of football that they're playing.
I think the worst thing is that fucking Man United, who have constantly moaned about fixture pile-ups over fucking the last 30 years. As soon as the season finished, as soon as it finished, they flew everyone out of fucking Malaysia to start having fucking friendlies and that. And I was thought to myself, it's getting ridiculous. Like, someone's got to stand up to it because it's, as Mr. C says here, the overall quality of league football, European football will suffer eventually. So, yeah,
I think the overall quality of the Premier League's suffering now because it's shit. It is. It really is. You had a few bright sparks last season. Bournemouth, the performances that they had, Fulham now and again. But overall, in general, I think when you look at the Premier League over the last few seasons, it's been dire compared to what we used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just because you have managers that come in and revolutionise the league. Wenger done it, Ferguson done it at United. Pep's come in, and I think everyone's trying to copy him, and it's ruining football.
It's killing football.
Yeah, but we spoke about this before, didn't we? Like, it's not just the Premier League. You can watch League One football when they're trying to play it from the back.
Really?
Yeah.
And the quality of football down there is nothing compared to the standard in the Premier League. And you got, it's just football is boring to watch now. You watch Goal of the Month now, they're all tap-ins. You watch Goal of the Month 10, 15 years ago, they were 40 yards. When do you ever see how many times do you see a 35, 40-yard strike nowadays?
Yeah. It come up on, I've seen it on telly the other day. There was like a Goal of the Month competition, Goal of the Month thing in, might have been early 2000s. So.
March.
And,
I know.
Every single one was a belter.
Cracker, yeah. That's a famous one. Yeah, I've seen it, yeah. It's like fucking a 35, 40-yard screamer every fucking one.
You don't get that now. It is just, tippy-tappy, pass. Look, when it pulls off and it works and you do it quickly, how it's meant to be done, it looks good. But too many teams, backwards, sideways. Just boring football, mate. Boring football. You get more entertaining games over the park.
No, I agree. I totally agree. But yeah, when play, I think this is where teams get mugged off, and this is why it's so shit. I think we was fucking. You're trying to play out from the back with players that can't fucking play out from the back, and you end up looking like fucking mugs. But there we go. Rich West Ham says back to West Ham. It's simple. Sullivan and Co need to go. Love, thought, and prayers, and love to your Nick, to your mum, Nick. Thank you very much, mate. I'll pass them on to no issues. Kansas Storm. Right, says anyone know when the new kits come out? No, I fucking do. Why are we always so late with ours? I'm really not that I give a shit, but why everyone else is? I've seen Arsenal fans wearing theirs.
Yeah, we are.
I reckon it'll probably be out in the next week.
Probably delaying it.
It's a bit later on than what we usually do it, but I reckon within the next week they'll do a little teaser video and then they'll announce the home kit, and then everyone will be saying when's the away kit out, that'll come out, and then when's the third kit coming out, and then fuck me. Like, I know. Release them all at once.
I know that it's all been filmed. I know it was filmed ages ago, so it must be soon.
I've heard that there was a bit of an issue with the filming, so maybe there was a player that was in it that's not no longer there, or someone that might be getting sold. So maybe they have to redo it.
Yeah, there we go. John says, Man United, the club who bowed out the FA Cup in 2000 and playing some meaningless tournament instead, should have been booted out for several years. Listen, mate, I think it was their choice. I know there was a lot of hoo-ha at the time. I remember it. It's 25 years ago. That's crazy. But I remember the back pages, they was really piling it, as the tabloids do. And they've got pictures of everyone going to I can't remember who we went to. We went to Lola, and there was teams like playing in the snow and shit. And then on the next page was the Man United team. It was all out in Rio de Janeiro, and you said them all fucking laying by the pool and fucking going on water slides, having the time of their lives. And people were saying like they should be back here playing fucking Rotherham and all this sort of, like, yeah, they look like they want to be, but yeah, I don't think that, mate. If Man United pull out of anything, if they want to come back into the next year, they're going to let them in. It's the biggest team in the fucking world, so you're never, ever, ever in a million years going to fucking. They're never going to reject Man United coming back in.
So someone was just saying there about the kits, about New Balance. It's still Umbro for this season.
Yeah.
And is it Doyle Sports or Boyle Sports, whatever it's called?
Yeah.
So we ain't got Betway anymore. So yeah, it's one more season with Umbro, I think.
Yeah, there's a comment here about the contract with Betway doesn't end until the 30th of June. So that's why the new kits are yet to be announced.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Yeah, maybe that's why then. So maybe when that runs out in 10 days, it'll be out on the 1st of July or something. There we go.
I said it. They got to shift all the other lot first as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, they don't sell them cheap anymore, man. I remember they used to flog them off for 5-10 quid. I remember Man One.
25 quid they are. 25 quid they are.
Yeah, but I don't think that's cheap enough.
They should do it 25 quid or 50 quid for all three.
Yeah, something like that, mate. Yeah.
That'd be good.
I know there ain't Jamie wanted the pink goalkeeper kit. They ain't got no more of them left. I don't know whether they just didn't make many. But you know, it is
That's
what it is.
That's why I'm a good salesman, Scott.
Yes, mate. Yes.
2 weeks ago, I broke the company record for the most sales in a day.
There you go, mate. That's good going.
Company record company's been around over 60, 70 years, I think it is.
Well done, right? Could ask for a pay rise. I done the company record for the most biscuits eaten with my tea the other day. Just done to me.
I only done 50 quid, but it was over like 400 odd grand, I think.
Yeah, Mike Bosham says we've got a couple more to go before we start wrapping up. I missed the big match on Sunday afternoon with Brian Moore. Too much a good thing these days. Do you know what? I was watching something yesterday, a documentary from the mate. Telly was so much more simpler back in the day, man. Fucking hell, it was entertaining. It was really entertaining. I was watching some documentary about the rise of video games in the 80s and 84 and that, mate. So much more simple. So much. But there we go. It should be 25 for the new shirt, Rich says. Nobody needs to be paying 80 quid. Fucking robbery. I agree with that, mate. I've known. I've made my fucking faults known on that for years. But there we go. Just a quick one then before we start wrapping up. Aguirre to Juventus. That's come out of nowhere. Aguirre to Juventus. What about that one?
Yeah, possible.
He wants to leave, doesn't he? I mean, he was offered a chance to come back for pre-season and meet Potter, and I think that he was so disappointed with what happened last season, especially after the Conference League win. Because I think Aguirre was decent. Like, he had his moments, but fucking what defender don't have their moment? I thought he might have come back and he could have played well under Potter. I think he could maybe do a partnership with Kilman at the back. But if he wants to go, I mean, Juventus are obviously a massive football club. Chance to go and play for a big football club like that. Can't blame him.
No, that's it. That's the thing. And again, it's the standard. You know, they're going to be in. I think they're in European competition next year. So you know, it's more of an attractive prospect than what we are at the moment. There's probably, I think, was it player cash plus a player sort of deal.
Yeah, I can't remember the player was. I didn't write it down. I forgot to write it down, but there was a cash plus player deal. I think I'd take that. I'll take it. I don't. Aguirre's never going to come back. I never really took to Aguirre. I'll be honest with you. I heard a couple of things about him, and he apparently wasn't a very nice person, but never really took to him. Don't give a shit if he goes. Don't give a shit if he stays. To be quite honest with you, but I agree with Ryan. I think in a back three he could have fitted in with alongside Kilman.
I just think it would have been nice for him to come back because obviously he still is our player. He could have come back and just sat down with Potter and maybe like he might have thought different. Right. Maybe if do you know what, Potter's like he can see what he wants to do and like sending me his plans because now Potter starts afresh. You know, he's got his own transfer window now. Like he's got a pre-season to work with some of these players. So Yeah, well,
That's,
Mate,
that's,
I tell you what,
that's the thing. Though, mate.
I've got
He
some
would have added a
breaking
bit
news.
of pace to the centre half, to the back line. That's the thing. He would have been. He is quite a pacey defender, and you've got the two players around him to deal with the physicality, because that's where he struggled. The physicality in the Premier League is where he struggled, but his pace got him out of trouble a lot of times.
Yeah, I tell you what, right?
as I said, he had his moments. Like he wasn't, but there was some good in him as well. So
yeah, definitely.
Well, some breaking news, mate, and this is going to fucking devastate you.
Fucking hell, I ain't been there for a little while. Good pub, that.
Good pub, yeah, really good pub.
That was the birthplace of the Kurt Zuma song.
Yes, yeah.
Shame
There we
that's
go.
gone. I would have thought that would have made plenty of dough.
We won't touch on this too much because I don't know much about
Well,
it. But
no Vardy, no party. They're shutting the pubs down now. Vardy's left.
that's it, mate. Yeah, the parties are finished. It's all serious now. Just quickly, what was the fucking guy's name? I forget it now, and I can't remember. The Wickham striker, Richard Kone.
Yeah,
that
Kone. Yeah. I think it's Kone. Yeah.
Richard Kone, apparently £12 million League One striker. Can't afford him. We're trying to sweeten the deal with a couple more loans, sending a couple more people on loan now after the success of the last one. I'll talk about more of that on the transfer roundup tomorrow, I think, because I'll have to do a bit of thing. I just got that before we went on here. But there we go. Probably Walnut says, ain't that the club where Nicky left his car keys? He absolutely fucking... Oh, no, I didn't leave the car keys there. I was parked there and I left the car keys in an Uber that I'd had to get from somewhere to somewhere. But there we go. And yeah, there we go. Right, yeah. Anything else, boys?
No, good to see Antonio back playing football. I know you've been you had a big chat about him last week, but it's good to see him coming on for Jamaica. I think it was 10 minutes he got under his belt, but from the crash and what happened to him to the fact that he couldn't walk and he's got himself playing back football, it's good to see a good story, a positive story, and good on him, and wish him all the best.
I remember when it happened and we was talking with myself, and we knew people that was doing first response, and some of them said I'd be very surprised if he has a leg at the end of it. So to see him come back play football. No, listen, I said this midweek as well. No matter what it is about the contract, no matter what it is has happened and all that, just the geezer coming back and playing football after such a tragic accident, fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Someone just put there, Antonio back playing before Somerville is madness. That's crazy when you think about that.
Mate, and that's it. That proves a lot. Determination of your mindset and how you are. It's that's the thing. That accident that Antonio had, that could have broke him up. Look, I understand he's got a lot of money. He's got the facilities to recover properly. He's not like us. We have to go to work every day, and that's it. Football is his work. And he got a lot of help, but it's still such a good, positive thing to see that he's come from the brink of death, so to speak, or potentially losing his legs to playing football again. So
playing international football before he's played club football was mad as well. But there we go. Yeah. Good to see. Anything else, boys? Or we'll wrap up.
No, I was just thinking things in my head. Do you ever do that sometimes where you just think of things happening? I was watching Scott and I was thinking, imagine when he was talking, he just fell off his chair.
Yeah.
I was just imagining it in my head.
I'll do that all the time, honestly. But yeah, there we go. But thank you very much for joining us. It was a brilliant chat tonight, boys. I really enjoyed that one. Thank you very much for joining us on West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. Do catch up with me with the transfer roundups every day. I know there's not much going on, but we'll find something to talk about. We'll talk about Richard Kone tomorrow. And yeah, we'll be back at it next week. And boys, lovely to see you. One thing left for us to say. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.